Questions and comments? The Honourable Member for Winnipeg North.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I appreciate the comments from the member. I don't necessarily agree with everything that he has said. In reference to the leader of the Liberal Party, I would like to believe and express to residents of Newfoundland and Labrador that the leader of the Liberal Party's passion for the province of Newfoundland and Labrador is very strong. Second, I would suggest to you to no others, as he is a very strong national figure that recognizes the importance of agreements. And that is why it is that we are supporting what it is that the NDP are putting forward today, Mr. Speaker. We recognize the fact that when a national government enters into an agreement, that there is an obligation for the government to fulfill that agreement. So there is a sense of betrayal. A bit concerned in terms of the way and manner in which the member started off his speech. I can tell him that Canadians across this country care for and have a strong passion for Newfoundland and Labrador's place in Canada, and that it's a political party with a particular leader that maybe is offending Newfoundlanders and Labradorans today. But the overwhelming feeling across this country is that we are a strong, united country, and Newfoundland and Labrador is second to no other province in Canada. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member for St. John South Mount Pearl.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank the Honourable Member. I didn't really hear a question. I heard a statement. I don't think that Newfoundlanders and Labradorians, I don't think that we always, as I said in my speech, feel quite welcome in this confederation. We often feel like the screws are being put to our province. But I will say one thing. I have to say this. I will say one thing to the Honourable Member. I'm going to give you a little lesson on how to pronounce Newfoundland. Newfoundland, understand. Understand Newfoundland. Practice that a few times, and you'll have the pronunciation down pat.
Questions and comments? Honourable Member Timmins James Bay.
Mr. Speaker, I listened with great interest to my honourable colleague's passion, and I remember when the cod fishery collapsed because of years of federal mismanagement. The cod fishery, which was one of the reasons Canada as a nation was founded, because of this incredible resource that brought so many Europeans over, and the settlements that created Newfoundland and Labrador. And one of the agreements when the Newfoundland and Labrador signed on with the federal government was that they would be better within Confederation, that there would be a quid pro quo with the province. And the loss of the cod fisheries was such a symbol of federal mismanagement. And so I understand the deep suspicion that the people of Newfoundland have when an international trade agreement is being brought forward and Newfoundland's being asked to give up some of the sovereignty that it has wanted to maintain over its fisheries in order to be part of an international agreement. And it has to be able to trust that the federal government is going to make sure that that agreement works on its behalf, not just for the behalf of anybody else in the Conservative Party, but the behalf of the people of Newfoundland and Labrador. And I'm very concerned by this backtracking. We saw how Danny Williams stood up. We saw this movement of anything but conservative, because we know conservatives cannot be trusted in the Maritimes, just like they can't be trusted anywhere else. I'd like to ask my honourable colleague what he thinks about a government that is reneging on a deal that sends symbolic concerns to the people of Newfoundland and Labrador.
The Honourable Member for St. John South Mount Pearl.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank the Honourable Member from Timmins James Bay for the question. I remember in 1992 when the then Conservative government of Brian Mulroney shut down the northern cod fishery. I was the fisheries reporter, actually, with the daily newspaper in St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. And I was there the day that Crosby, in that hotel room in downtown St. John's, when he shut down the fishery. I was there that day when Crosby shut down the fishery, and the fishermen from Petty Harbour, Newfoundland, they tried to break into the room. They tried to break into the room. They were pissed off because Crosby didn't make the announcement to their faces. He did it in another room, and it was televised to the room where the fishermen were. Now the Honourable Member brings up the word trust. He brings up the word trust. There is no trust, Mr. Speaker. There is no trust. When Danny Williams was Premier, this Prime Minister, he made a promise to Newfoundland and Labrador about equalization, about resource revenues. He did not follow through. And this is the second example, Mr. Speaker. It's the second example of a promise made and a promise not kept. Now, how can we trust a Prime Minister? How can we trust a government in Newfoundland and Labrador that does not live up to a promise? My sons watch CETA. They watch this speech, and they asked me, they say, Dad, why doesn't this government live up to its promise? We have to. We make promises. Why don't we have to? I don't know the answer to that question, Mr. Speaker.
Before we go to more questions, just ask all honourable members to be careful of their language and to use parliamentary language in the House. Question et commentaire, l'honorable député de Saint-Lambert.
Monsieur le Président, tout d'abord, je voudrais remercier mon collègue pour son discours et vraiment le féliciter parce qu'il est un représentant honorable et qui fait honneur à sa province. Alors merci. Les conservateurs, Monsieur le Président, ont fait une promesse à Terre-Neuve et Labrador et ils doivent tenir parole. Comme l'a dit mon collègue, un enfant même sait ce que c'est une promesse et sait combien il est important de pouvoir tenir ses promesses. Mon collègue a parlé de l'importance, bien évidemment, du secteur des pêches et de l'implication et de l'impact que va avoir justement ce retrait de cette promesse en ce qui concerne l'économie de toute une province. Alors je voudrais que mon collègue nous explique de façon un peu plus approfondie quelles sont les conséquences économiques, un désastre, je suppose, concernant ce retrait et le fait de ne pas tenir sa promesse.
The honourable member for St. John South Mount Pearl.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I mentioned in my speech that Newfoundland and Labrador is being hit from two ends when it comes to the downturn in the price of oil. We're being hit from the western end in that we have thousands, literally thousands of workers from Newfoundland and Labrador, Mr. Speaker, who travel back and forth to Alberta for work. Their average salary of each of those workers is $100,000 a year, Mr. Speaker. $100,000 a year that comes back to Newfoundland and Labrador. From the eastern end, Mr. Speaker, off the east coast of Newfoundland, offshore in the Grand Banks of Newfoundland, our revenues from our oil industry are down severely, Mr. Speaker. The Newfoundland and Labrador government faces a deficit this year alone of $916 million, almost $1 billion, Mr. Speaker, for a small province of just over 500,000 people. Now, we need to diversify. This country needs to diversify. That $400 million fund, in answer to the honourable member's question, that $400 million would be used by the Newfoundland and Labrador government to position ourselves, to capitalize, to seize on the opportunity, the business opportunity of the opening of the 500 million person European Union market. If we don't have that, that means we don't capitalize. If we don't have that, that means we don't diversify. If we don't have it, that means this Conservative government fails Newfoundland and Labrador again.
Questions and comments? The Honourable Minister of State.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know, I listened to the honourable member's speech, and I thank him for it. But he spoke about all the benefits of the Canada-European Union trade agreement, the benefits that they would bring to his home province. And I agree on that. You know, I need to quote from the chair of the St. John's Board of Trade, who said the CETA agreement provides significant opportunity for our members to do business with the affluent 500 million customers in Europe. Now, Mr. Speaker, the problem is the honourable member and his party did not support this agreement, an agreement that will bring untold benefits to his home province, to the industry in that province, to the people of that province, and now has brought forward this Opposition Day motion that will further create problems when it comes to this agreement. So why doesn't the honourable member get on board and support this agreement that so benefits, in his own words, his home province?
The Honourable Member for St. John South Mount Pearl.
Mr. Speaker, I don't know what to say. I shake my head. The honourable member knows that that is not true. He knows that beyond the shadow of a doubt. The New Democratic Party of Canada has yet to take a stand on the CETA agreement. You know that. Mr. Speaker, he knows that. We have yet to take a stand on CETA. We didn't say yes immediately like the Liberals. We wanted to read the text. We wanted to read the text, and we're still speaking with groups right across this country about how they feel about it, about the text, about the wording, about the wording of an agreement that will be in place in perpetuity, Mr. Speaker. We're taking our time on that. The minister knows that that is not true. He knows it's not true.
Debate, the Honourable Minister of State for the Atlantic Canada Opportunities Agency.